Well, hi, everybody, and we are so excited to be here right now. I have Michelle from MEI Travel here with me. Hi, Michelle. Hold on a second. I muted you. There you go.
Okay.
Now you can talk.
Thanks, Glenn. Hi,
You're welcome.
everyone.
It's good to have you here, and we're
Thank
gonna
you.
we're gonna be doing this Facebook Live, but I'm also gonna put this out on a couple of the podcast feeds in audio form. So if you miss any part of this, if you start watching it and can't catch the whole thing, then we will put it out on the podcast feeds as well. It'll definitely be on the Horses in the Morning feed, so you can look for it there. Michelle, this is our third Horse Lovers cruise. We're
I
so
know
excited.
it's great. Yes, I'm excited you contacted me. This will be fun.
And you've been with us since the beginning. I think the
Yes.
first cruise we maybe had 30 some people. The last cruise we had almost 50 people. So it
Yeah.
was a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely growing. And I'm glad we picked a bigger ship this time. This is going to be really different.
Well, that was my wife's request because we went on Oasis of the Seas, which kind of a sister ship to this one. And we went on that was our first cruise in like 20 years. And we thought
Wow.
all ships were like that now. Um,
Yeah.
this-
Well, no.
and she said she loves the bigger ships. I love the bigger ships. And the problem with the bigger ships and why we haven't done them before is they also are longer itineraries.
Right.
Yeah, you have more nights. So
Yeah.
we've always tried to stay to that 4 or 5 night range. And now it's just like, the hell with it. We've all been locked up. By next year, it's going to be 2 years. Some people will not have traveled. Let's take a 7-nighter and have
Right.
some fun. Yeah.
Exactly. I totally agree. And it's a totally different experience. And it is a big ship, but it's broken into neighborhoods, which is, you'll understand when you're on it, but it's super cool that they've got 7 neighborhoods. So you can be in one of those and not realize that there's 5,200 other people on that ship. So that's the great layout of of the Oasis class ships like the Harmony. So.
And it is true.
Yeah.
We went, when we were on the Oasis ship, it was full. I mean, it was full. It's probably over 5,000 people there. And then you have a couple thousand crew, too. So you got like 7,000 people on a boat, but it never seemed crowded.
Right. Yeah. And that's the concept of the neighborhoods where you can have 1,000 people like walking around on the promenade. And then there's other people in Central Park and there's more people out on the boardwalk area. And you don't feel like you're with everybody at the same time. On a smaller ship, you kind of do because they have less areas, common areas. But this ship, you're really going to feel like you can be up on the flow rider area and your other family can be somewhere else. It's big. You're going to get your steps in for sure. I mean, don't forget something at the pool deck and have to go back to your cabin. You're going to curse all the way back because it's a big ship, a quarter mile all the way around on the track on deck 4 is what that ship is. So you'll get your steps
that's
in.
Okay, because there's 24 restaurants. You're going to be eating a lot too. So
Yes,
you need to work
right.
out.
So you'll need some of that walking steps in there. But yeah, it's got a lot more cabin categories and options for you to look at taking if you've always sailed in an inside and now you want to do a Central Park interior where you're actually overlooking Central Park, or boardwalk interior where you're overlooking the boardwalk, but you're still in interior cabin. You can do things like that on this ship. So you have other options of different types of cabins to book too, which is kind of fun to kind of weed out, and say, hey, I'm going to try this time.
Well, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning of this. We're going February 13th, 2022. It's a Sunday. We always, or in the past couple times, we've done an activity the day before so people who want to come in early can get to know each other and hang out together all day. And our day before activity, because we're leaving out of Port Canaveral, which is, for those that don't know, it's on the east coast of Florida and it's due east of Orlando. So you fly into Orlando and you take some kind of transportation, which we'll talk about, directly east, and you go to the ocean, and that's Port Canaveral. So that's where it is. It's an easy port to get in and out of, much easier than Miami was. The port itself, the structures in the port to get you in and out of the ship are very nice. It's really made for this. Disney leaves out of there too. So we'll talk a lot about that, but it is on the Harmony of the Seas, which, as I read, is still the second largest cruise ship.
It is, yes. The Symphony and the Harmony are the 2 big ones, right?
So this is Oasis class ship on Royal Caribbean, and as she said, these are huge, and you could literally never see the ocean on this boat because there's so much to do inside
Right.
and so many neighborhoods and places to go. Central Park has like 1,200 live plants. It's like being at Central Park.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's inside the ship. It's
Yes,
cool.
it is.
It is
They
cool.
have someone on board that takes care of all those plants. It's cool.
And as we learned last year, we had some younger couples on last year who like to party. There are like 30 bars on this ship. So, dance clubs, bars, you're not going to have a lack of places to find a drink. That is for
Right.
sure.
Yes.
That's no problem. There are pools. There's like 23 pools. It's 18 decks. It's just a very big ship. And that's part of the reason we chose it. But let's go through. So it's February 13th. If you want to come in, we're going to be going on the 12th over to NASA, to the Space Center, and doing that tour all day. We'll arrange transportation from our hotel. We'll have a group hotel. We're going to work on that and get you that so you can book it ahead. We'll have a group hotel at Port Canaveral. So if you come in 2 nights before and want to stay for the 2 nights, we'll try and get a group rate. You know somebody there. So we're going to work on that. If you can't get in, if you want to fly in on Saturday and you're going to miss the tour over at NASA Space Center, then we will have a pizza party. We always have a pizza party the night before the cruise at the hotel.
Right.
So you get to meet everybody that's hanging out. We all have a blast doing that. It's kind of just a warm up to get ready to eat a ton on the boat. So that's what we're going to do. Now, this is all, and somebody just posted this, and I wanted to cover this at the beginning. She says, cruises seem so far from being open again. That is true. Now, this cruise is all dependent upon whether we're doing cruises, number one.
Right.
And we're assuming that most people are going to have vaccines by then, and the situation's going to be different. That's the assumption we're going under. If it's not, what are the cancellation policies? How's all that work? Let's start with that.
Okay, so we're still working under what we're calling Cruise for Confidence with Royal Caribbean. And that means if you book by April 30th, they have 2 different payment options for your deposit, non-refundable deposits and refundable. If you book refundable, then your money is completely refundable up until final payment 90 days before we cruise. So that's November 1st, around that date. If you book non-refundable, they could charge you $100 per person if you change or cancel your dates. But they're not going to keep that money. They're going to put it in a future cruise certificate for you as long as you book by this April 30th, 2021. And then you could sail up to September 2022 using that $200 certificate. So we're still under a Cruise for Confidence. That's still evolving every month. So they might have new rules next month. And I track all that for you. But right now, if you're good to book through April 30th and really your money is pretty protected. And I give you pricing options and you tell me individually how you want to book and how you want your money to be placed on the cruise. So,
I will tell you, in the past, we've done non-refundable deposits, Jennifer and I, because we always figure we're going, right? This year, I think we're doing a refundable deposit because I just want to be sure. I want to be extra sure too.
Yes, right.
So, yeah.
And I think
it is a little bit more money, but not a lot more.
Yeah, it's $250 for your deposit per person. Or if you have a family of 4, let's say it's $500 total. If we book you in our group space, that's a little bit of a break. There's a lot of, I track the pricing. So if you book on one kind of pricing and it goes down, I can adjust that for you. And you can make payments over the whole year contacting me directly. So if you want to pay $500 in June rather than the whole lump sum later in November, we can always work on things like that.
So I'm told I'm a little quiet. Is that better for whoever wrote that? I'm not sure who wrote that. Tried to increase my volume here. They always say I'm quiet, and I've never been accused of that before. So all right. So we can cruise with confidence. That's what we're talking about there. Now, you can cancel up to, as of this point with Cruise with Confidence, if you get sick, let's say the week before the cruise. They don't want you coming on a cruise if you're sick.
Yeah.
So you can cancel up to 48 hours ahead of time, and they will give you a cruise certificate to use in the future.
Correct. And that's the other part of the Cruise for Confidence. Again, you have to book this cruise by April 30th to qualify for all those little things. And they may extend that, which would be great. But right now it's only through April 30th to book. And yes, you could cancel 48 hours before. You're not going to get cash back. You're going to get back a credit to cruise later for your cruise fare. They always pay you back taxes, fees, gratuities, anything like that you've paid in cash. But your cruise fare itself gets protected in a certificate to travel later if you cancel under Cruise for Confidence.
Okay, good. Am I a little louder for everybody that's watching? All right, so now that we've covered that, and I know that's a concern of a lot of people, I would tell you, get your deposit in. You can make payments to Michelle monthly or however you want to do that. We do that. I mean, that's what Jennifer and I do. We put our deposit in and then we send Michelle, we tell her to charge our card so much a month, and that's what we do. It works out great. So definitely do that. But you do want to get your deposit in for your rooms. I suspect that as soon as cruises start again, everybody that's not been cruising in the past year that has certificates and everything else, these cruise ships will fill up.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's high season in February. So the other thing is we've all been home for COVID for a year. So as soon as we see Royal Caribbean put ships in the water, which we're hoping will be very soon this spring, people are going to start going crazy and booking, I think, fast. And the prices may start going up too. So we're holding group space. We're holding on to some, good fares so that doesn't happen. So yeah, I definitely think once cruises actually start sailing again, there are a lot of people who are going to cruise, and it's going to go quick. And like I said, February is high season because it's cold in Michigan. So you want to be on a cruise.
Yeah.
Right, Marie?
I want to be on a cruise right now.
I know.
So we do a couple of things too as a group. Part of the advantage of being in a group is we all eat dinner together every night. So I think we had 5 or 6 tables of 8 last year. Yep. And you don't have to eat dinner with us. You can go to one of the other restaurants and eat dinner. Everybody kind of did because the food is pretty good in the main dining room. And you can order as many meals as you want and as many desserts. We all got like 4 desserts each every night. But it's nice because at the end of the day, then you're all getting together and you can talk about what you did that day, that kind of thing. So we eat together. That's one of the things about being in the group. The other thing, a couple things that we do is on the first day when we all get on the ship, like at 4 o'clock before we set sail, we'll have a meet and greet on the ship, and usually in one of the bars. We have little gift bags for everybody. We go over what the activities are for the week, and we kind of all introduce ourselves, and then we have lanyards with our names on them so that everybody knows each other all week on the ship. You just know each other all week. It really is nice that way. Then we also do a couple of other things. There is a ladies' night where they all get together and usually play some kind of horsey game, and then the guys go drink at the bar. So us horse husbands all go drink at the bar, and they're usually getting together.
We can drink too, girls. We can drink too.
Yeah, they drink while they're playing games, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's ladies' horsey game night, and then the horse husbands get together. So horse husbands don't feel left out on this one because there's other horse husbands. We all hang out together most of the time, so it's kind of fun. There aren't boring lectures like you see some cruises that companies put on, and it's all lectures and talks. This is about partying, so that's what this is about.
About fun. We have a lot of fun. Good groups. Yeah.
The other thing that we do is a horsey game show. So one day, this is probably going to be one of our cruise sea days, that we're going to get together for a game show. It usually lasts about an hour. We give away prizes, and we run it like a game show. So we've done Family Feud before and a couple of other things, and usually everybody ends up with a prize of some sort. So that's a lot of fun. It's just a good time to get together and hang out. And then, of course, there's all the activities. I know that a bunch of them went dancing every night last year, and we're up to 3 a.m. So you can get together in groups and do your own stuff, and that's usually what happened, karaoke and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's the advantage of being with a group, is a lot of people, and it's just more fun, I think.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the itinerary a little bit. This is 7 nights, so it's a longer cruise, and that's because it's a bigger ship. They tend to do longer cruises. We'll be doing the day before thing, Kennedy Space Center, on the 12th of February, and then we'll board on the 13th. And now they're doing that a little differently. They're going to be assigning times, and you show up at your assigned time, right?
Yeah, and we'll check. They're going to roll that out, so as we roll it out this year, we'll know way in advance by next year how that's going to look.
Yeah. Please tell me they're going to have their freaking app done that we can all communicate with each other better.
Hopefully they will have their app done, yes, by then too.
Because it would be sure nice to be able to send out a message to the whole group, and not have to, what a nightmare that is, communicating.
Well, if not, we'll just all sign up on GroupMe, which is another way to chat on GroupMe that we can do it maybe that way too. So, but hopefully their app will be all done and we can send out where we are, locations and stuff.
Because I know that everybody was trying to get a hold of each other at night and say, I'm here at this bar, and it was just impossible.
It's really old school. You really have to leave a note under the door on a ship if you don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, apparently everybody is getting rooms around mine, so I'm expecting lots of notes on the door. So, um, then one of the interesting things that's different from our other cruises is there are a lot of sea days. And what a sea day means is there's no port. You're just on the boat all day. And that may sound horrendous to people, but when you're on a ship this large, you want sea days.
Yes. They go so quick. You literally wake up in the morning and you're like, wait, it was just 9 o'clock in the morning and now it's 5, because you're going from bingo or, doing learning salsa lessons or, going up to the flow rider for an hour, then having lunch. And it's like a whole day of activities.
This thing has slides and water slides and water parks and pools galore and casino. It's the biggest casino apparently on the water. It's huge.
Yes, it's huge. And I spend my time there.
And shows galore. There are more shows in the ship.
Fabulous,
Yeah.
You'll love the shows. Hopefully the water show will be, back. Hopefully all the shows will be back. They may change a little bit of that with COVID, but the shows are fabulous and they're well worth. They have the best entertainment, I think, on ships at sea.
Royal Caribbean. The water show in the back of the ship, the dive show, is incredible.
Yes.
So then day 4, we hit the first port, which I have not been to and I want to, is Antigua, which apparently is known for its beaches.
Yes, and snorkeling and any water sport is absolutely fabulous in Antigua. I did last year, or when we were sailing again, maybe 2 years ago, my husband and I went there and did a kayaking through the mangroves and then snorkeling. It was unbelievable water and all sorts of trips like that can be planned. We can do something as a group if we want to set something up. We don't have to. You can just go out on your own and do whatever you want. But great water sports, lovely people, really good food on the island. And you pull up right to your dock there. We don't tender anywhere on this ship. So we pull up to the docks, which is great. You just walk right off the ship and you're right there in the downtown.
Yeah, and I'm excited because we've been to a lot of the other ports many times. So that's going to be fun. And then we're going to St. Thomas. Tell us a little bit about that.
St. Thomas is probably the most recognizable Virgin Island. A lot of people go there. It's mostly, I think, the hot spot there is Megan's Bay, which is a beautiful alcove bay that you can go spend the whole day at the beach. They've got a bar there. They've got food there. You can have it. You can go on an excursion. And that, again, excursions can be different after COVID. We'll have to see. You may have to do a ship's excursion or maybe not. But you take a little shuttle over there and then they can drop you off in the downtown area, which is literally only about a half a mile. So you could actually walk back to the ship. But it's just got, again, you can transfer over to St. John's and do a day at St. John's, which has a national park on it, or go to other little Virgin Islands around there. But it's a great beach day, really good activities, really friendly people, and a lot of bars and restaurants in the downtown area and shops that you can go shop at just walking around. So really fun place.
And if you've never been on a cruise before, you can also stay on the ship. You don't have to get off at the ports. It's not required.
Exactly.
So and actually, the pools are empty on port days.
Yes, on sea days,
sea days or port days, the pools are empty. So a lot of people stay on the ship to just get in the pool.
Right.
And then we have another sea day aboard Harmony. By the way, that picture you see right there is the Central Park.
Yeah, and if you look at that, there's cabins. So you can see those cabins. Those are the Central Park balcony cabins that I do have up as a possibility to book. They overlook Central Park, but they're open air. So you're not locked in. That's all an open atrium right there. So you can have a balcony. It doesn't look at the ocean. It looks over Central Park, and they play violin music in the evenings. And it's really lovely, very peaceful. The best place for breakfast inside there, I think. So, lots of different places to explore, and Vintage's Wine Bar, which I will be at a lot. And I am going on this one. So I will be on there, hopefully meeting some people that I haven't.
Hey, we loved having you on the first one. We missed you last year.
Yeah.
Then there's Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which Coco Cay is their private island, and we went there last year, and we love Coco Cay. It's because it's relaxing. There's nothing stressful about Coco Cay. It's just Coco Cay, however they say it. Yeah.
You're right, Coco Cay.
Yeah, so we had a great time. You can go to the beach there. They have a water park there. You can pay extra and go to the water park. They have the biggest pool I've ever seen in my life there. You can go in the ocean there. You can do parasailing there. They have a zip line there, a really long zip line there. There's just the balloon, the hot air balloon. You can go up on that there. It's their own private playground, and it's beautiful. Last year we did a lot of us went out and did a whale tour, or I forget what they called it, but you went out and looked at the marine life. They had the glass bottom boat, so that was fun. We enjoyed doing that too.
It's usually everybody's
So
favorite day, and they want to spend another whole day there. So
yeah,
it's a lot to do in one day, but it's a very family-oriented beach day that you'll love.
And the nice thing is, because it's their own, they own it. They bring the food over. It's free food that day, and it's included in your drink package if you get one of those. We'll talk more about that a little later on, not today, but as people book. Then we come back to Port Canaveral. We get off. So let's talk about a little bit about. Do you want to do a little bit about pricing, or do you want to talk about flying in and transfers and stuff first? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think so. A lot of key things to know, and I will go over this with everybody. I'll make up an information sheet that I'll give to people who book. But when you fly in, you're about 55 minutes from the port when you fly into Orlando International. You don't have to fly into Orlando International. There's also Sanford Airport for those of you who fly Allegiant. But getting to the port is far. So there you can rent a car. And just drive down for a one-way rental and drop it off in Cape Canaveral. That's one option. You can get a private shuttle, and I can help you with that. You can only take the cruise line shuttle from the Orlando airport if you fly in the same day as the cruise, which I don't suggest because I've almost missed a ship before flying in the same day. And I think with COVID rules coming out, they're going to make it a lot more intense of getting there a lot earlier. So I would say flying in at least the 11th or the 12th is optimal, and then we can get you down. There are some transfers you can do. So if on the way down, you have options. On the way back, if you just want to hop on Royal Caribbean's bus to get back to the airport, it's $35 one way to do that at the end. We tack it onto your cruise fare super easy. So I think that on the end part of the cruise, that would be easy. There are specific times for departures on the end of the cruise. So you can't fly out earlier than 12 noon. Again, they may change some of those rules, but 12 noon to 1 o'clock is the earliest you can fly out to go home. So don't book a 9 a.m. flight. The ship won't clear by then. Clearing the ship is going to take longer. So if you fly in the day of the cruise, which again, I don't suggest, there's also a strict time on that. But so we will work on you with transfers. We're hoping to maybe if a lot of people are flying in at the same time, we can work on that too. But I'll work with you individually on that.
And worst case, if you're just worried about getting there and not really worried about the dollars, you can take an Uber over. I think it's
Uber's
around
another
70,
option, right? Yep, it's
$70
$70 to $90 one way, but if you're a family of 4, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah. So
drop you right at
Uber
your
over
hotel.
and Uber back, and do it at your own schedule and whatever. You can
and the
do
hotel
that too.
will be within. The hotel will be within a couple miles of the port, so that'll be easy to get over there the next day. We'll just figure that out. A lot of the hotels have shuttles to the port for $4 a person or something, so we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Easy.
And we, for the most part, stayed at the same hotel, so that worked out easier.
Yes,
I did last year. I rented a van to take everybody to the stuff we did the day before. So we went over to see Carol Baskin before all the stuff came out about. We went and saw the lions and tigers and stuff. So we did have fun doing that anyway. But I will rent a van to, depending on how many people we have, to go up to do the tour at Nassau. So, and which is not too far away anyway. And that's a fun tour. It's just a great time to do that. If you have never seen it before, you have to go do Cape Canaveral. It's cool. Yeah. And with all the rockets that are going off now, who knows?
I know. Maybe we'll see one. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So right now, the way it works, if you go onto the website, right there, horseradionetwork.com/cruise, you'll see the different categories of booking. I'm not going to go through each one of these individually, but you can get an inside room. That basically means you have no window to the outside. They're a little cheaper. You can get a porthole. Basically, you get a view of the ocean. You get a window, basically. And then you can get balconies. A lot of people are going for balconies this year. Jennifer and I usually do. And I'll tell you what we usually do is on our last many cruises, we always get room service about 7 o'clock, which is included. We get our coffee, our tea, and our pre-breakfast. They bring that at 7 o'clock. We still get up early. And then we go out on the balcony and we enjoy the ocean, eating our breakfast every morning. And then we go up and have real breakfast later. But we have 2 breakfasts on cruises. But that's how we do it, and it is so lovely. It's so nice.
Really nice experience. If you've never done it, it's only a couple $500 more maybe compared to an inside, but it's the experience I think is worth it. And having fresh ocean air is always a plus on a cruise ship too. So, but yeah, a lot of categories. We leave our door open
a little at night to listen to this ocean.
Yeah.
Plus the another advantage of having the balcony is when you're coming into port. you got to watch when you're coming into port. It's just fascinating. It's a beautiful sight. But if you have a balcony, you can do it from your balcony. It's so nice. Yeah.
Or watching people come back onto the ship after 4:00 in the afternoon after they've been drinking all day is pretty funny too. So
yeah, that is funny too. Yes. And watching them park beside the other ships and you're 50 feet away, it's just nuts.
You're like, oh my gosh, how are they doing this? But yeah, great. Lots of categories. So you don't have to know what you want to book. I can price out every single category they have. There's suites on the ship. If money's not an object, suites are available, and they come with a lot of extra perks. You can get into some of the clubs and then have your own breakfast and dinner in the club, plus drinks in there too, and things like that. So there are suites available. I can price those out for you. And if you've been on Royal Caribbean, let me know that, because you might get a discount for being a past guest, even everybody who sailed last time. So just let me know that too.
Now let's talk. We always get the question about, let's do this first, and then we'll talk about drink packages. To book, they just call you. The phone number's right there on that website page.
Call or email me.
Or email you, and the instructions are at the bottom. If you go all the way down to the bottom of this page, you're going to see the email instructions and exactly what you have to put on the email, and that you send off to Michelle. So, and Michelle doesn't charge you anything for doing this. The cruise line pays her, so we're not paying any extra for Michelle. And let me tell you, right now, if you're booking a cruise, I don't care if you're going yourself or part of a group, you want to use a travel agent, because it is a nightmare right now. And it's going to continue to be that for connecting to them. And Michelle just takes care of everything. So you definitely want to do that. And I would recommend, if you're doing it with the group, do it through Michelle. It just makes it easier for all of us to track everybody and to keep track of everybody on the ship and to do our activities and stuff. And you're not paying extra, so it doesn't matter. And Michelle also does keep an eye on the prices. So at some point here, which I don't think is going to happen, but at some point here in June, if they lower the prices for some reason, the ship's not filling up, then Michelle will give us a lower rate. So
if you bring your kids, kids sail free sometimes does come out. And I know, like, some people are bringing kids, and if their kids can go for free, the cruise line's not going to call you up and say, hey, we lowered your rate, your kids are free. I track that and I watch that for you. And that's part of what I do as my job for you. So.
Right. Kids are welcome. We have had kids on every cruise we've done, and it's a lot of fun. Robin's kids were along last time. We had a great time. They were a trip. I can't wait to hang out with them. They were responsible for most of the graffiti on my door, I think, last trip. So what they do is they contact you. They're going to have to put a deposit down now of $250 per person, or $500 for a cabin.
Right.
If they're single, if they're an individual, that gets a little trickier, and you're going to want to call Robin and talk to her or call Michelle and talk to her on the phone.
Right.
And Michelle will walk you through that. Sometimes we have two singles and you can match them up. That's happened quite a bit.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing to do. I mean, the cruise lines charge based on two people sharing a cabin. They have some studio cabins. They're not studio pricing though right now. On the Anthem, for instance, they do have actual single pricing, but they don't on Harmony. But we can match you up, or I can just explain to you how it all works, and you can have your own cabin. It's just that they're going to charge you for two people being in that cabin. So find a friend, either on with me, or find a friend on your own. And other people can come. They don't have to be horse. I'm not a horse person, but I have a blast with this group. They're all a ton of fun, and we had a great time when I was on the first cruise. So you can have your next door neighbors, if you want them to sail with us, can come and be in our group. That's not a problem.
One of the nice things about having Michelle along too is if something happens on the ship and you need some help, you can contact Michelle, and she helps you get it accomplished. And you know, that happened. We had a couple things happen on the first cruise.
Right.
Last one was pretty smooth, but the first one there were a couple things, and you dealt with it. That was great.
That's my job, is to interact with the cruise staffing, and it's easy, and I like to do that. And I mean, I've been an agent forever, so I think it's just a great, you guys have fun, you enjoy your cruise. That's your job. My job is to make sure I manage everybody and make sure there aren't any issues. So that's on me.
I don't know. You're going to have a lot of other questions, and those we can ask along the way. There is a Horselovers cruise Facebook page, which I'm going to bring up right now because I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember what we called it? The Horselovers Cruise. I think if you just search for that, it's going to come up on Facebook. And you can join that if you're thinking about going on the cruise. I would join that because we post all kinds of videos on there. And this is also the page that we've used in the past.
Yes.
So you're going to see pictures from past cruises. And this is where we communicate as cruisers. It's a closed page. So just ask to join and I'll let you in. So if you're thinking about going at all, join this page. It's Horselovers Cruise, Horse Radio Network. Just search for that. Join this page. And I mean, you can come on here and you're going to see... you're going to see pictures. Here's all of our pictures. Everybody posted pictures from past cruises.
Yeah.
Jennifer's going to try one of the ports. We think we can get a horseback ride like we did last time.
Oh, yeah.
So Jennifer's going to work on that, about getting the horseback riding done. We're going to work on that. But as you can see, we had a terrible time on the last cruise. It's just awful.
And a lot of times in that Facebook page is where you meet your roommate. If you're a single person and you post in there, hey, I'm single, that we had a lady last year who did that, and we matched her up with somebody through that, Facebook page. So that was, they did that kind of on their own, and they just came to me then to book. So.
Okay, good. So yeah, take a look at the pictures, join the page. We would love to have you along. We like it to be listeners of the Horse Radio Network because they tend to talk about the shows and the hosts, and you're kind of on the inside, but you don't have to be, obviously. It can be friends of friends, and we're a very inclusive group. So. Don't worry about that. Horseradionetwork.com/cruise. And this is all providing cruises are going. If they're not, then we all just get our money back and we try again for a future date. It's just right now. It gives us something to look forward to.
Yes. 1 year away from this weekend. Can you believe it? Just 1 year.
I'll be going down a year from today.
Yeah.
The 11th. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
True.
Yeah.
And showing up on this is ironic because showing up on my memories on Facebook this morning was 4 years ago when we did our first cruise. We were at the hotel for the pizza party, getting ready to board the next day, and that was on the 11th. Yeah, so I had that picture pop up this morning.
That's awesome. That was so much
fun. A lot of fun.
Pizza parties are great. You get to meet everybody on the sailing the day before you go. It's fun.
And last year was Super Bowl, so we had a pizza party Super Bowl party.
Oh, that's right.
All right, thanks everybody. We hope you enjoy. It is horseradionetwork.com/cruise. And one other thing, if you're a new cruiser, if you've never done this before, going on a group cruise on a ship this size, this will spoil you for life because if you're going for the first time on a cruise, and a lot of our cruisers were first timers, they'll tell you going with a group is the best way to go.
Absolutely,
people all over the ship. You get to have dinner with friends every night. It's just fun.
It's a great time. Really fun time.
Thanks, Michelle.
Good group of people. I hope you guys email me with any questions or call me. I'm happy to answer questions.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Aloha. Well, we're not going there, are we? What do they say in Antigua?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Bye bye.
I don't know. Bye bye.